What is up everyone, my name's Al from GamesRip. Today we're going to be taking a look at this incredible homebrew. That's right, I say it's a homebrew. When I say that I just mean it's not done by a major label, but one hell of a game. I think you're going to love this. This game is called FX Unit Yuki. The game is now on a couple different platforms, in even the PC Engine. The game is based around a little girl, or I say a girl, a woman, who essentially gets embroiled in a war between the JEC and basically NEC and Sega. That's right, basically PC Engine and Sega are at war. And that's right, this game takes you into the games themselves, 8 different levels, and you're actually inside the game. So it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it really, a bit like Ready Player One, bit like, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's manga, it's anime. This is a really, really cool title. It keeps selling out, you can buy it online. But anyway, before we even think of that, let's actually take a look at the game. So this is it. This is FX Unit Yuki for the Sega Dreamcast, playing on the Sega Dreamcast. Now this is also available on Mega Drive and also the PC Engine, so if you want to get those versions, they are out there. But today we're going to be looking at the Sega Dreamcast version. Before I talk anymore, let's give a quick synopsis of the actual game before we get into the real nitty gritty. Now this is a nice long review. We're going to be taking a look at all of the levels that they actually represent in other games. Yeah, that, by the way, that's a bit of a secret there in what's actually happening in this game. Now your name is Yuki Shirokawa, and you're basically a beta tester within JEC. By the way, JEC is referencing NEC, that's right. Now she does get too close to the FX engine, funny enough, FX right there, and then pow, she's transformed into FX Unit Yuki. Now, there is a evil corporation, yet they're referencing Sega, the SG Corp they've called it, and they've come up with their version of FX Unit Yuki called Ultra Drive Unit Genie, or Jenny. So yeah, they're obviously talking about the Mega Drive / Genesis, and that's what you're basically up against. You're going to take on Jenny, or Genie, we will say, to basically get rid of the evil within the game code. Now, is it me, or is that an incredible basis for a game? We've never really seen it before, but does it not feel a little bit Ready Player One, kind of, in the fact that you're referencing so many different games within a game? I think that's a really, really cool idea, and yeah, that's right, that's what makes up FX Unit Yuki. Now the game starts off with essentially a training level where you're basically instructed on how to use the character, but it's actually a really, really decent tutorial where, some of the times you play these tutorials and they just feel a little bit long, a little bit pointless, whereas with this, it actually is. It's pretty damn helpful and explains exactly what you've got to do in regards to B being jump, A being fire, etc, etc. So it is really, really decent to do, and something that I'm glad they kept in, and is basically not skippable, and has a really, really good soundtrack. And then we're on to stage 1. Now, in this, Yuki basically references the fact she's questioning, is this 8-bit? Is this 16-bit? Because, yeah, she's kind of breaking that whole fourth wall kind of thing. If you know what Deadpool does, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about fourth wall. She's talking to us playing as her. And yeah, you can see the game takes very, very similar references to games like Sonic, Mario, etc. It's clear they've basically referenced that platform style, which I love, and I think they've done so well. To me, the soundtrack here sounds very, very much, sounds a little bit like Green Hill Zone, am I right? Just have a little listen. Would I be right in saying that? I don't know, but the music is fantastic. So much so, they have actually released a soundtrack as well, and, fair play to them, because it really is addictive, and it really gives you that sense of urgency, which kind of puts you on edge with platformers. It kind of makes you press buttons a little bit too early. Like on here, I died so many times. You kind of got to get to a point where you remember a pattern, because the game, obviously, it's not random, it is done in a pattern, and once you memorise it, you will master the game, and you'll master every single level, and there are 8 levels at that, each one, obviously, minus the actual instructional level right at the beginning. There is a boss, and the boss fights do get, I would say, increasingly harder, although they kind of seem very, very similar. They're just done in a different form for each level. So this one's kind of just a quick slash, jump, beat 'em up. Whereas on the next level, you'll see that, yeah, we're flying a broomstick. Now, I have got to say, are you guessing the games they're referencing here? Because they are doing some references here. And to be fair, they're not massively subtle. And, it's great that they've really gone and added tons of different genres here. Now, you can obviously tell it is referencing the PC Engine because of the style of games we've got here. We've got spaceship shooters, we've got shooters, we've got platformers, the sort of things that console was well known for. And it does a really, really decent effort of mimicking that style and just the way it looks. Well, again, I guess that is just the style. Now, you've got to admire the level design for all of these levels. They are just so damn stunning looking. There's no issues with the way these look, and you can tell this was a passion product. You can tell there's a love for manga. You can tell there's a love for classic 16-bit shooters, platformers, etc. It's kind of harking back to that era of awesomeness, but done with modern technology. And when I'm talking modern technology, I'm talking the Dreamcast, I'm talking the PC Engine because it's on that as well. So yeah, I guess we can call that modern, right? Or maybe we're not calling it modern, we're just going back to the past with this kind of game. Now, can you see what they're referencing right here? I'm not going to say until after 10 seconds. Ready? That's right, we're talking about Castlevania, and oh my god, does this not look like Symphony of the Night? Am I right here? I mean, just listen to the music. To be fair, that's also one of my favourite levels in the game. I love the style. I love Castlevania. So if you love Castlevania, you're gonna want to play this level. Now, this is basically referencing Bonk, if I think I'm right in saying that. The style is very, very similar. Either that or it's Joe and Mac, but I'm pretty sure it's Bonk, because obviously that was, meant to be basically a figurehead for the PC Engine. And yeah, with this sort of art style, I'm pretty sure it's Bonk. This level's pretty decent. I'm going to leave you with a little bit more of the music. I'll be doing this a lot with the levels because the music's great. I'll be back shortly. Now, this level again is also one of my favourites. It's a really, really well done shoot 'em up. Love it. It kind of, reminds me a bit of Musha, to be fair, on the Sega Genesis. I can't actually say I'm 100% sure which one this is referencing. If you do know, and you know all of the levels so far, or the references so far, drop a comment. Tell me exactly which ones they're referencing. Because, yeah, I think I've guessed a few, but I don't think I've guessed all of them. But yeah, as you can see, another fantastic level. The game controls so well. It works so well with the analog stick. I actually say the analog stick's probably not the best way to play. I actually think the D-pad's best way for this. 16-bit games back then, platformers, shooters, they always play better, with a D-pad. you know, and a couple buttons. There's not many buttons to this game. It's nice and simple, which is the way I personally think to make a game. I think so many games now overcomplicate themselves with controls, and you know, this one doesn't do that. Another saving grace for this game, although it doesn't really need one, is, like I said, it's the soundtrack, it's the art style, and it's the pick up and play ability of it. Like I said, it's only 8 levels anyway, so if you're decent enough, you can bash this game out in an hour, hour and a half, you know, depending on your skill set. But I will say, you guys and girls out there have to 100% go out and find this. You can get this from PlayAsia currently for £29.99. Obviously, that's not delivered. That's the actual unit price. So go out and get it. I'll actually drop a link in the description below. You know, I'll be gobsmacked if you don't want to go out and get this. Now, there are CDIs available. I would not say go out and do that. I'd say go out and support the actual developers of this game. Because, you know, I'd love to see a second one to this. I'd love to see a sort of, you know, a follow-up to see, or, you know, to basically bring back the feud. That's right. Now, I'm not going to say how the game ends, but it ends in a pretty decent manner. That's all I'm going to say. Now, obviously, I want to say I hope you've enjoyed this nice little whistle wetner, we'll call it. A game that's, you know, after seeing this, you're going to want to go out and purchase it. I'll be gobsmacked if you don't. It's absolutely fantastic. It's FX Unit Yuki for the Sega Dreamcast. And yeah, also for the Genesis and the PC Engine. Anyway, I've been Al from Games Re-Up. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you all soon. You can now support the channel on patreon.com/GamesRep, as well as remember to like, comment and subscribe.